Hello, YouTube. So, I do a lot of reading over the ethics of design with regards to software. I spend a lot of time thinking about the way we design the monetization systems of our software, just kind of how things have evolved over the decades. Everything is a subscription now, blah blah blah. That's a topic for another time. But as a computer person, I just also wanted to highlight, especially since Thanksgiving for the US is next week, a week and a day, and then we have our Black Friday sales happening. And besides the news about Palestine, I've seen news from the Congo. This is from last year. I just saw this one. I'm not really familiar with this news website, but just also in the Congo and the way that us in the West, we're responsible. I mean, I'm not a politician, I'm not the one making these deals, but we're the West in general, or however you want to label us, is responsible for this mass exploitation of everyone in the world. And again, it's not like me making the decisions. I am not the business owner who decides that we need to keep producing more and more technology. We need to have a new version of an iPhone every year. We need to minimize prices and maximize profits. But as a US citizen, really, unless you're a rich person, that we're good for is consuming. That's kind of why they keep us around. That's how I feel about being a US citizen. But I just thought I'd go through this. I could link to this on the description, but this has some video of just what it's like to be mining for cobalt and these precious minerals that we use for our technology. And really, I guess my point is that we don't need to be consuming as much as we do. I have a laptop and a desktop computer. I don't need to get another laptop or desktop. My phone still works. I don't need to get another phone. We don't need to be upgrading our devices every year and, you know, having people crawl into these tiny little gaps. People and also children who are people, but you know what I mean, like adults and children looking for these minerals, and it's dangerous. This clearly there's scaffolding. It's we export work to other countries without the safety regulations so that we can get everything cheaper. So, basically, we have these things. I love computers, but we don't need to be constantly upgrading things. And this also kind of leads to another thought that I have about software development, which I don't know if I'm going to even rant about that right now here, but generally, as technology gets better and better, we just take more resources. We're like, we got the RAM, we got the storage, let's use as much as possible. Anytime I'm on a Windows computer, I feel like it's so slow. Uh, Games take up so much space. They don't need to be taking up that much space. We don't need the most photorealistic games. Not everything has to be like that. And it it takes up time from people to be able to develop the games. There's a lot of exploitation in the games industry as well. Um, if we made our software more efficient, we wouldn't have to upgrade it as much. We wouldn't need more RAM all the time. We wouldn't need improved, bigger hard drives, improved processing. If we developed software to work within a reasonable means, we wouldn't have to rely on this sort of thing. So here's some more footage of someone trying to pull out, I guess, some of the cobalt. And then they go up and, clearly it's not safe. And they have kids working and stuff. So maybe I will talk more about just, I talk to my students about software ethics and design in software. And in a way, software design can, like good software design could help mitigate some of these issues. If, for example, I can still run an old laptop using Ubuntu or, a version of Linux with a very lightweight desktop environment. But it feels like most kind of software for the average person, the non-programmer user, it just is bloatware. It's there to take up as much resources as possible, and then that makes us want to buy more hardware. Or like we've seen in the past with iPhones, this is not an iPhone, this is my old OnePlus 6. They would have, what is the word? It's like planned obsolescence where the software slows down over time and in a way that was planned or designed into it to encourage you to go upgrade your device. Or, like my phone currently, the battery is terrible. I'm not going to throw away my phone. If I had the ability to self-repair it, that would be great. I don't feel like opening it up and taking off the glue and all of that. But, I don't need it to have a super long battery life. You kind of just work within your means. There's no reason for me to buy another phone because it works. It does its function. And so I feel like it would be wasteful to just put this away and not use it. The phone I had before this was the OnePlus One, and I used it until it literally stopped turning on because I dropped it one day in the UMKC parking garage, and that's when it just decided to never turn on again. So that I had to get another phone. But yeah, okay. So that is to say, maybe I'll talk more about software design and some of the other like programming related, technology related, but not like strictly let's write some program code stuff that I also talk to my students about. Maybe I'll do some videos about that. We'll see. But mostly, as I mentioned in my last video, I'm not buying any non-necessities as a protest of our government supporting, the US government supporting the genocide in Palestine, supplying weapons and all of that. Because I honestly don't know what the fuck else to do. Like, there's other things here. Like, I live in Missouri. My reproductive rights have been taken away here. That's something I've been trying to fight locally for a while. But it's like, it feels like the government, the people in power never pay attention. So what else do? I guess like I'm a consumer and I generate profit for my job. I have to keep working to pay my bills. So I'm just not gonna buy anything I don't need. So it's been groceries, gas to get to work, and that's been it. I've been eating better because I've been eating at home and not buying sodas, fast food, not just impulse buying stuff I see that's advertised on social media or whatever. I used to like to do that a lot. Here's my new favorite hair clip that looks like a toast. But I bought this right before I stopped purchasing dumb stuff. So I keep feeling like I'm trying to come up to a point. My point is I am trying to boycott the economy as best as I can. To appreciate the things that I do have. I am fortunate in that I like to create things. So if I do need a new bag, for instance, I can literally crochet one, and I already have yarn here at home. If I need a new notebook, I can build one. I know how to bind pages together. I can do that. I am learning to bake better. I'm not a very good cook, but I learned to make bread. I'm just trying to live more within my means and not buy into the economy of like, here's all this useless stuff you don't need. Likewise with Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up. I don't need anything. I don't need a new tablet. I don't need a phone. I don't need a computer. I have this computer. I have some, you know, these old computers I get to play with that I bought off people from Facebook Marketplace. So that's not contributing to new computer creations. It's these things are like 30 plus years old. And then for Christmas, I'm not buying anything. Maybe I'll draw stuff and make some coloring books and utilize my printer and make copies of that, or maybe I'll crochet something or whatever else. But for the most part, I think my family and my friends understand that um, we've never been really big on gift giving. Usually it's kind of more like stocking stuffers, but I think especially me and like my cousin, we're frustrated by the world. And I want things to be better. And the thing that's different about these issues that we're talking about today with like Palestine and the Congo, they're not down the road. I usually try to focus on activism I can do locally to help people. We have like the Casey Tenants group here locally. I volunteer for local political campaigns. I've been to various local protests over the years. And at worst, if none of that works, I can at least give somebody food directly. But I can't do that when it's somebody overseas. I can't just drive down there and bring them some clothes and blankets and food. Um, and to some extent the aid over at the southern border is being blocked. I don't know how much aid anyone's getting. Plus, a lot of people are in the north and they're not getting any aid in Palestine. So it's like, well, okay, I'm not gonna spend any money to help to help out this country, make its fortune and be the richest country in the world. I'm just gonna minimize that, spend time with my friends and my community, focus on building up community and stuff like that. So, okay, so that was rambly. I wanted to do a video more about like tech projects, and maybe I'll have some time tomorrow or later this week to do that. I've been doing a lot of terminal-based game programming, as in the console. I'll talk more about that another time. You don't need a new phone unless it just is broken and you replace it, but you don't need to upgrade every year. We don't need to use all this garbage software. We don't need to pay subscriptions for everything, you know? Just and then at worst you can, put on a cute little what is it? Tricorder hat? Like a pirate hat? You know what I mean. I don't know. I'm not endorsing anything. I'm just saying don't spend money on stuff you don't need. Okay, well, I'm gonna go away. I don't even know what I'm gonna do tonight. I want to do programming, but I might just play video games. Video games I already own. Yay! Getting to my backlog. What a concept.